All right, I am live. It is Monday night, the 22nd of December, and it's 10:32 in the evening. Shout out to the mob. All my other bears, I call the Grizzlies and the Honey Bears. Please hit the like on your way in and join me for a little bit. Yeah. I see some of you out there, and the love you were first to make it in. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Let's just get that in right now. Also, you can subscribe to this channel at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. Plus, I have put the link to subscribe to Run Tell That Too. It's at the top of the chat. We are only 33 subscribers away. All you have to do is click the link. I've set it up. If you click the link, it will ask you a question with a button subscribe. And it's that simple. All right. We've had that channel since I believe it's March of 2022, right? And that channel has been up and it's been terminated and we brought it back. I'm telling you, we've been fighting to get that channel to 1,000. Not as hard this year because I have not been on that channel much at all. All right, I see my moderators, Vicky Black and Baby Juju. Good evening and welcome back to the Bear Cave. I do plan to read the final counts, 5 and 6. We should be able to get through that. And I looked at some videos. I did, portions of them. Since we had talked about Monica, all about the tea, Plez, the panel, just different things. I don't know if I'm going to play from them tonight, but I did find Plez's uh, goodbye, telling everyone that she was, going on, moving on. And it was hard for her. Yeah, it was really a tearful farewell. It was difficult. She didn't want to have to do it. She didn't want to have to, end things the way that they did. But she needed to do it really for her own peace of mind. Yeah. So why don't we go ahead and you see my clock up there. I always like to put some music with it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So let's see how fast or quickly we can move this broadcast along. Let's just get right into these counts. Also, just before I do that, so I was going through also some of Tree's old videos, and one of them was from 2021, July, I believe it was July 17th. And if you listen to her then, yeah, she was complimenting how Nosy Hole Live was, you know, what she was doing on a panel. And she was trying to be fair in saying, this is one side, what people are saying, and this is another. So she sounded even, well, less colorful. Let's just say that. I mean, she was just matter of fact and giving her commentary. Of course, she wasn't on a panel discussion or anything like that to engage in that way. But I think if you were to hear it, you would say, is that trees? Yeah. Okay. Maybe we will get a chance to go over to Run Tell That too. Not tonight, but sometime during this holiday week and listen to some of those videos. All right. So let's get into this count 4 of the complaint. And that would be Sabrina Evans versus Daniel Robertson at L. I said count 4, count 5. We're on count 5 here. So we'll just leave. Let's put up the fireplace. And let me pull it up. So count 5 is impersonation of others to commit fraud. Between March 4th, 2023 and November 4th, 2023, defendant Daniel Robertson executed a deliberate campaign of impersonation and deceit to suppress the plaintiff's content and manipulate public perception of her identity. The defendant's actions were designed to mislead platforms, obstruct the plaintiff's work, and inflict reputational harm. The following facts establish a clear pattern of fraudulent conduct. Facts supporting the claim. On or around March 9th, 2023, YouTube notified plaintiff Sabrina Evans of privacy complaints filed against her content. The complaints, believed to have been submitted by defendant Daniel Robertson, allege that the plaintiff's use of publicly sourced photos violated the complainant's privacy. That's Exhibit H1 and I1. And that, well, let me just continue. You will know whose photos that would be. On March 12th, 2023, YouTube denied defendant Daniel Robertson's privacy complaints, confirming the content did not violate its privacy policies and would remain on the platform. Exhibit J1. On or around March 13th, 2023, the defendant Daniel Robertson later admitted to filing a false privacy complaint impersonating Danielle Elizabeth Allen in her submission to YouTube. She acknowledged knowingly falsifying legal documents. In her admission, the defendant revealed that her primary intent was to have photos removed, asserting that her actions were intended to protect Danielle Elizabeth Allen. This admission demonstrates that the defendant deliberately manipulated YouTube's processes by fabricating her identity and filing false claims. Exhibit K1. The defendant's fraudulent privacy claims to YouTube, purporting to be Danielle Elizabeth Allen, directly contradicted her own statements in March 4th, 2023 video titled, Hear Her TV. Mommy Biter messaged me. I guess Jaguar Wright content dried up. The Bird Brain uploaded to her YouTube channel for the basics, where she explicitly denied being Danielle Elizabeth Allen. By the way, that particular channel went through a number of iterations and name changes. For the basics became Danny Montana, which is now defunct. Despite the photos being public and the plaintiff's content protected as fair use, the defendant knowingly exploited YouTube privacy complaint system to further her fraudulent agenda, causing harm to the plaintiff's reputation and professional work. The defendant calculated actions demonstrate an intent to deceive, manipulate, and harm the plaintiff through false claims and impersonations. Relief requested injunction prohibiting the defendant from filing fraudulent complaints and impersonating others, compensatory damages for reputational harm and financial losses, punitive damages to deter future impersonation and fraud, attorney's fees, and additional relief as deemed appropriate by the court. Count 6. Conspiracy to commit fraud and cause emotional distress. Between November 5th, 2023 and April 30th, 2024, defendant Danielle Robertson, acting under anonymity, conspired with an individual in Detroit to file a false personal protection order against plaintiff Sabrina Evans. This scheme aimed to harm the plaintiff personally and professionally by creating a fraudulent paper trail to support defamatory claims and discredit the plaintiff with regulatory bodies, soliciting thousands of followers to sign a petition in support of this harmful petition. Facts supporting the claim. On or about April 2nd, 2024, defendant Danielle Robertson published a post on her website, ican't.com, announcing a forthcoming PPO hearing involving the plaintiff, despite the plaintiff's not having publicly disclosed such information. Exhibit M1. On April 9th, 2024, the defendant collaborated with the PPO petitioner, acting as her proxy, to file a false PPO request to the court. The petition's language and accusations closely align with the defendant's rhetoric, strongly indicating that Danielle Robertson either authored or heavily influenced its content. The defendant's anonymity allowed her to avoid personal accountability while using others to execute harmful agenda. Exhibit N1. On or around April 27th, 2024, the defendant fabricated a second false PPO and published it on her website, ican't.com, presenting it as a legitimate document to deceive her audience and perpetuate a false narrative. This fraudulent PPO was used to damage the plaintiff's reputation, Exhibit 01. On October 14th, 2023, defendant Danielle Robertson created a change.org petition against plaintiff Sabrina Evans, falsely alleging unethical behavior to damage her professional reputation as a physician assistant. The defendant defamed the plaintiff by accusing her of collaborating with a violent criminal and supporting physical harm to others. Exhibit P1. In her November 4th, 2023 video entitled, "Who is Danielle Elizabeth Allen? Sabrina's Petition, Teddy Bundy's Obsession, Black Tea Sector Drama," the defendant Danielle Robertson maliciously defames the plaintiff's professional character, portraying her as a mass stalker intent on harming others in a defamatory petition published on change.org. Exhibit Q1. On February 10th, 2023, the defendant posted my late brother's obituary photo on her YouTube channel for the Basics, aka Danny Montana. In another video, Step into the Bad Side, the defendant Danielle Robertson posted my brother's obituary photo. The defendant blamed the plaintiff for the death of her brother, going so far as to suggest the plaintiff murdered him. This caused severe emotional distress, Exhibit R1, and it's been 3 years. Additional relief requested. Injunction prohibiting the defendant and her collaborators from engaging in further harmful actions against the plaintiff, compensatory damages for emotional distress, reputational harm, and financial losses caused by the defendant's action, punitive damages to deter the defendant and others from engaging in similar conspiracies in the future, attorney's fees and costs, reimbursement for all legal expenses incurred due to the defendant's malicious conduct, additional relief, any further remedies deemed appropriate by the court. I repeat what I said the other night. From the magistrate judge's opinion in ECF 7475, her recommendations, certain portions of counts have been recommended to be dismissed. Since that time, in ECF, I believe it's 112, the district judge Levy adopted the magistrate's recommendations. All right. Also, as I mentioned last night, there have been subsequent filings that include new information relevant to the count of conspiracy, primarily conspiracy. All right. And that will wrap that portion up for now. Let me just take it off my other screen. There's a lot going on that hasn't been ruled on right now. So Today, I filed a um, response in opposition to the defendant's emergency motion to stay her legal identity and postal address. Let's see. Just give me a second, okay? That's my TikTok, one of my TikTok instrumental versions. So let me pause and take a look at the chat. Also, you can email me right now. Don't forget, at the top of the chat is the link to subscribe to Run Tell That too, if you'd like. Wow, there's a lot um, that we can talk about and pick up some conversations that I've already had around several uh, videos and just conversation in general. Let me see what's on your mind as I look through. Ooh. Just looking at an email. Let's see. All right, so remember we were, gosh, where should I start? Let me see if I can pull something up. If I You might imagine I was up early this morning. Yes, I was at the courthouse when they opened, maybe about 8:45. They opened at 8:30, but I had to stop by Kinko's, right, and get some copies. But I headed on down there this morning, and I had it filed before 9 o'clock this morning, and it was docketed the same day. And that was my intent. But I'm looking for something. Oh, wait a minute. Oh boy, there's a lot. Let's see. Oh, there is. I'm just scrolling back something that I was working on. Working on several things. Hang on. See what I can share. It's 11 o'clock. So, one of the videos that I talked about not too long ago, or referred to it, it was a video that Black Rabbit created. And she called it Here We Go. And it, Danny Robertson and Avengers YouTube scammers pinning fake crimes for clicks and views. Guys, you really should hear this one. And again, maybe what we will do is sometime this week is make sure that that happens. Some clips, yeah, from this. But at the time when this came out, AI, we didn't use AI for analysis. And by the way, AI is really helpful for analysis and organizing content. It can do a lot of things, all right? Well, I did put this video through AI. Yes, I did. And it's interesting that what I said back then, I asked a question and I still ask it today. Maybe some of you don't remember exactly the question that I asked, but I said, how could someone be so emphatic about the that Daniel Robertson's anonymity would never be found out? And not know who this person is or have some type of proximity to this individual. Mhm. Well, this is fair use commentary. This is for education, criticism, entertainment purposes only. Um, this is just for discussion. Okay. Let me see what I was able to find. Let's just see. Just seeing what I want to say about it. She definitely was defending her friend. Mhm. Let's see. Wow. So let's just start maybe with this. So, what Black Rabbit actually admitted about Danny Robertson it's in the video in her own words. Not what she intended, not what she thinks, but what she said out loud. One, she says Danny Robertson arrived on YouTube as she came to the scene during a doxing crisis. That's her words, explicitly framing Daniel's entrance as purposeful. One, she positioned herself as someone who would avenge or defend and clear misinformation. That her role was not neutral commentary, but intervention. That's the way it interpreted. Mhm. Again, this is based on what she said in her commentary. And then some of this I'm just quoting from as well. Secondly, that anonymity, this idea, was not incidental. That, and I'm just saying this, that it was essential for her to have this anonymity before she came here. Black Rabbit repeatedly emphasized that Danny is anonymous. This is what she called her. Danny is anonymous, that Danny must remain anonymous, that people want to force her out of anonymity, and attempts to identify her were framed as harassment. Mhm. That's an admission on some level that anonymity, that it was known, protected, and strategically it's been defended by herself and others, including Danielle herself. Like, this isn't like I just want to be privacy. It's more like identity as an armor. And if you look at the filings and the rulings so far, the judge said you can't have it both ways. You know, as a sword and a shield. Again, in this video, Black Rabbit confirms that she herself was doxxed, that Danny Robertson publicly blamed other creators for that, specifically accused Cups of Conversations and Tales from the Cult in her video. And there's just so much in this video. I'm just trying to put it in bullet points. That the bullying that Danny did to those creators was under the banner of defense. Okay. And that matters because the platform, and if you go through these videos, this accountability, this I bully the bully, using the platform to really direct or redirect culpability. And then others' reputation was damaged also, while Danielle remained anonymous. So it's more or less like a proxy by warfare. This is how AI is explaining it. Okay. Black Rabbit praises Danielle or Danny for quote unquote coming for people who come for her, being aggressive while anonymous, never needing to show her face, and basically being untouchable while others were exposed. So she could apply pressure without reciprocal risk. And I've shared with you in Daniel's own words and filings. Yes, I included in my filing today some excerpts from a couple of her videos. I did. Perhaps we'll get an opportunity to, just touch on those, not tonight, but just to give you a sense of what I did file. But this power dynamic, and I've talked about it, it's asymmetrical. It's not balanced. No. And that's where this dominance and this anonymity allows her, even in her own words, to do what she wants to without being held accountable or without the others. She said, I can do what I want to do to you, and you can't do anything to me. Hold her accountable. Mhm. See, what else did she say? Danny is my friend. She's defended automatically. Um, and you know what? That's not a coincidence. Here, I mean, that's her friend, right? Let's see. Don't want to give too much of this away before. But you can hear in this video, it's now, well, she put it on her members. These spikes, I'll call them spikes of rage. And it just goes up and down in the mockery, in the language, uh, where she's defending her friend, Danny Robertson. At one point, she says, I can't let this happen. They're trying to force her out. She's going to remain anonymous. That's some loyalty, right? I mean, it's as if she treats this anonymity as I'll just say like it's fragile and strategic all at the same time. She doesn't say, I don't know who Danny is. She says, in effect, you don't have the right person. Stop trying. You'll never get her. She will stay anonymous. And this is said repeatedly. But the kicker is in this, she repeats over and over and over to sue her. Sue Danny Robertson. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't rewrite history. It's there. Mm-hmm. I could give much more of an opinion on it right now, but it's as if she's enforcing this. Mm-hmm. She says, I don't know who she is, and that's fine. And you will never get her. You have the wrong person. Stop trying. You're evil for trying. It's repeated, it's aggressive, and she's speaking it loudly and continuously, wrapped in insults and other things that she says and mocks even the legal process. Mhm. Which is interesting. She says, you don't have a case. Mhm. None of any of the people she was talking about in the video, myself included, no one has a case, but she said, I have a case. This is someone who doesn't know her, right? But she speaks with such conviction. Let's see how AI interpreted that. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. Um, Fair use commentary, analysis. Oh, I talked about this again, that question, how could she be so confident? And putting her video through, there's an area that talks about confidence without access is impossible. Access, what does that look like? That she wasn't confident about just one thing. She was confident about everything. Speaking about Black Rabbit and what she was saying about Danny. She kept saying Danny. Danny's motive for coming to YouTube. Confident. She knew her motive. She spoke it. Danny's innocence. Confident. Confident who was lying. Confident who was responsible for doxing. Confident which lawsuits would fail. Confident that identity efforts were wrong. Confident that critics didn't have the right person. That's not an opinion. That is what's considered positional certainty. Next, it says, she spoke as if outcomes were predetermined. She didn't say, again, this is fair use commentary. This is for entertainment purposes only. In quotes, this is what she said. I think courts would throw it out. She said in effect, there is no case. You will never get her. This will not work. She will remain anonymous. In the analysis, it comes out that's not how uninformed people talk. That's how people talk when they believe they know facts others don't. Those facts are stabilizing, and exposure would be catastrophic, not clarifying. Let's see. Yes. Framing it, Danielle. Wow. There's a lot to this. These are quotes. You don't have the right person. Stop trying. This is dangerous. They're forcing her out. It's defensive urgency. You don't feel urgency. This is AI analysis, unless there's something to lose. Again, this is, I'm just, going over some notes here. This isn't 100% confidence. This is a conversation about the video that was put through AI. Okay. If you hear it, you can hear the words. I mean, I'm telling you what's been quoted. Again, in this confidence area, confidence required suppression of, it's called alternatives. If she truly didn't know who Danny was, she would have had to allow for the possibility that critics were right, the possibility identity links were real, the possibility that litigation could proceed, the possibility that she herself was mistaken, but she allowed none of that. No room for doubt at all. And when I read that, I said, that's the question I want answered. How can you be so certain for someone you say you don't know? Or it would have to be in some close proximity. This confidence that you, she said, she will remain anonymous. This isn't the person or that. If you don't know something more, I don't know that to be the case, but it's the question that I asked. I asked that years ago. Mhm. Yes. How do you know she's going to remain anonymous? I mean, she was emphatic. You have to hear this video. Mhm. And I just thought that to be very notable, especially now where AI can quickly go through videos, organize them, um, sections, and look at them. Yeah, or at least organize them so someone else can look at them, and point out either contradictions, things that were said, and ask questions. Yeah. We did talk about that one. Wow, it's 11:25. I said I'll come to the chat. Let's take a look. We've got more people out in the bushes. And I won't say anything without receipts. I won't quote. No, I can give my opinion. But tonight, in that part, I was, I've already told you how those, I don't know what you call them conclusions, but analysis and criticism is being made. All right. Let's see who else. I'm just looking at some notes here and an email, which is, can't read it. Oh. Hmm. Again, I can tell you, I don't know how this is going to conclude. I don't. I haven't said that. I don't think I said it last night, but it doesn't hurt to say it each time I go live and talk about my case. We are still waiting for um, even the judge to respond to other things that are on the before the court. Although um, what she ordered, that timeline or that date came and passed. So um, I don't know how she's going to rule. I don't know when she's going to rule. I expect the priority because she made an order on the identity um, that that may there may be something on that first. I don't know. I really don't. I really don't. But I did uh, respond today with emotion. I did. Not emotion, but a response to the motion and opposition to the motion for uh, an emergency stay. Yeah. Sharon, you know what? Yes. No news is good news. Yeah. I've I've often thought about that along the way. Yeah, I've often thought about that. Um, and the courts, you know, remember how long it took when I did the show cause back in was it June? It's been so long ago. Seems like it was June, or I'll say between June and July. I'd have to go back to the docket. But a ruling didn't come on that until September. And that taught me is patience, that a response is going to come. That we know. Yes. So um, I don't see anything more for me to file at this moment because, again, I don't plan to just be filing additional things. It's all about timing and it's all about temperament too, right now. Yeah. I wish I could say a couple of things, but I don't want to, the right hand can't know what the left hand is doing. Tomorrow it will be 1 year to the day that I filed this lawsuit, December 23rd, 2024. And here it is, a year. And this is where we are. Yeah. It's I said it was going to be a process. I didn't exactly know, what that would look like, and I still don't know what the rest of that process will look like. I said there will be some ups and downs, This definitely feels that. And yeah, but I'm here. We're here. And I'm not going to give up. No, I'm going to keep pressing on. God gives me the strength, yeah, to do what I need to endure this. It takes a lot of mental stamina, to just, even when it's kind of like, simple things. You fill up your car with gasoline and you drive it, and then that, you burn that energy and you got to refuel, right? That's kind of like your mental as well. Your physical, your mental, it's refueling. Yeah. Yeah. And one of the ways to do that is to get rest, and, you know, so you can recoil. Yeah. Um, Joanne says the judge about to bring down the hammer. I can't. This is definitely. I said this is getting serious. It's it's already serious. It's already serious, and this is impeding forward movement in a timely manner. But at the same time, is what is called due process. So, you know, I'm I'm not saying a whole lot on that. Yeah. But I just wonder, and I did, reference that video. There's another video that Black Rabbit created after that one. That goes onto it even more. So it's just, wonder what's behind this. Because this was all planned. This didn't just happen. You know, now that's, being laid out in the filing. No, this was all of it. This anonymity. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can just read one line, from my exhibit that I filed today. Let's see if I can pull it up. It would be ECF 121, by the way. 121. Let's see if I have it. And then we will wrap this up. Yes, I'm not coming on to litigate this. The judge probably hasn't even looked at it. Let's see. Did I say 121? Or did I mean 122? Yes, that was the new one assigned. It's 122. All right. And Let me just show it to you, a portion of it. Hang on. It's titled Plaintiff's Opposition to Defendant's Emergency Motion to Stay Identity Disclosure ECF 121. And let's see if I want to read just the first paragraph and then go to the exhibit. Let's see. I'll read my introduction and then I will go back. I filed this today. Introduction. Defendant's emergency motion to stay identity disclosure ECF number 121 should be denied. The motion was filed after the court ordered compliance deadline had already passed, reasserts arguments previously raised and rejected, and attempts to reframe a threshold procedural requirement as an emergency safety concern based on speculative and irrelevant material. The court has already determined that defendant must identify her legal name and postal address in order for this case to proceed. ECF numbers 118, page ID 2393 or 2330 2393. Defendant did not comply with that order, did not seek timely relief before the deadline, and now seeks retroactive relief to excuse noncompliance. And then I'll just read one, and including the exhibits and all these signature pages. I can just tell you that the response itself is, before all the signatures, is 12 pages. And the rest is exhibits. So it's a total of 19 pages. Let me see. With the declaration, certification, all of that. I'm going to read the first exhibit source. Did I say the source 1 or source 2? I will read source 1. Just so you know. This is Exhibit X, defendant's public statements regarding intent to remain anonymous. Description, excerpts from publicly available video content posted by defendant on identified dates in which defendant discusses her use of anonymity, how it was established, and its effect on her online conduct. Source 1. This comes from the broadcast titled "The Lies and Hypocrisy Continue. It's Playing Victim for Me." This was posted to defendant Danny Montana TV YouTube channel on February the 11th, 2023. The channel was later terminated for violations of YouTube community guideline. The video was published within months after the death of plaintiff's brother. Selected excerpts include: A. Assertions of complete untraceability. Timestamps 3 hours, 31 minutes through 3 hours, 31 minutes, 22 seconds. The first was 3 seconds. Who gonna MFing check me? Who is gonna check me? Question. I'm anonymous. I'm anonymous. Nobody knows who the F I am. Nobody knows who I'm related to. No one knows anything about me. We'll go to B, which is a statement linking anonymity to freedom from oversight. Timestamps 3 hours, 31 minutes, 28 seconds through the same time, but seconds 44. Quote, I'm going to disappear at the end when I actually leave. I'm going to actually disappear, and no one still would know anything about me at all. I've been on for 1 hour and 12 minutes, and that's probably just fine. Mhm. And please don't forget to hit that like button, give us a thumbs up, and yeah. Yes, I did. I did. I drove straight to the courthouse with this morning, and I prepared it over the weekend. Mhm. Ooh. And I found out, well, I I said the court would be off on on Christmas Eve. I believe that someone may be working. At least when I asked the clerk, she said that the court was going to be open on Wednesday, and of course New Year's Eve too, but the first one coming up Christmas Eve. However, it's rumored that government agencies might get an extra day, Wednesday. Not sure. So, don't know if it's a 3 days work week or 2, but that's what I thought. Yeah. Anything else before I say goodnight? Again, I didn't argue. I just read from my filing. Yes. Anything else? I think that will do it. I have a lot of videos I want to share with you guys. Yeah. And hopefully we will get a chance to take a look. Let's see if there was even one person that subscribed tonight to Run Tell That Too. Well, it's unchanged. At least that's what I see. I clicked on it. We are 33 away, and there's still time left in the year. I said before the year is out or by the end of the year, we'd like to see that, hit 1,000. Yeah, we want to carry that over to 2026. But you know what? I want to be here. So I'm thankful for where we are. Yeah. I think that's going to do it for me tonight. I've just checked my email and we're good. It's almost midnight. Yeah. Thank you to my moderators. Hope everyone is doing well. And join me sometime tomorrow. What is this? Thank you, baby Juju. You did great. Joanne says, boy, I know that Judge is fed up, so fed up with these games that she's playing. Well, this judge, she's already come down on, everything. So now that I have my response in to that emergency motion, don't know if anything will come down before the holidays, before Christmas. It could. It could because the 15th, that time has passed. And I'm certain the judge knows that. Yeah. The clerks, people, even as bombarded as they are right now, the court moves, the process moves along. But I don't know where it is in the process. Let's see. We've got Up Under the Tree again. Huh. So somebody's predicting sanctions. I can't predict anything. Really, I just don't know. I'm going to say good night. This is not the wheel of fortune. Yeah. Okay. I'll just say that. Okay. That's it for me. I appreciate all of you and your input, and we will just see. Yeah. Yeah. You're all entitled to your opinions. Yeah. And you said them here. That's going to do it for me. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the Grizzlies and the Honey Bears. Please join me sometime tomorrow. But now it's time to say goodnight. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night.